You are here because something inside you has been whispering that a shift is happening. And it's not your imagination. Spiritual awakening. The moment you know the reunion with your twin flame is near often begins quietly, with a soft vibration in your chest or a thought you can't ignore. By the end of this message, you will understand exactly why you've been feeling this pull. Before we continue, I want to invite you to subscribe to the channel, because every message here is meant to guide you toward clarity, healing, and alignment on your twin flame journey. There is a moment, a single subtle moment, when your soul realizes something is changing. You may not fully understand it, but you feel it. A recognition, shift, release. And that moment is often the first sign that the reunion with your twin flame is closer than you've ever believed. This awakening usually shows up through an inner knowing, a quiet certainty that doesn't come from the mind but from deep within the soul. You might wake up one morning with a sense of peace you didn't have the night before. Or you may feel a gentle pull toward silence and reflection, as if your heart is preparing itself for something sacred. This is not random. It is your spirit responding to an energetic alignment happening between you and him. Sometimes, this awakening begins when you're tired of the chaos, tired of the push and pull, tired of questioning. You stop resisting. You stop forcing. And your energy naturally rises into a higher state. You begin to release expectations. Not because you've given up, but because you've grown. And in that release, your connection becomes stronger than ever. Another sign that reunion is near is the sudden emotional clarity that washes over you. Old fears lose their power. Old pain feels less heavy. Your heart becomes lighter, as if a spiritual burden has been lifted. You start to recognize that everything you experienced, the separation, the longing, the silence, was preparing you for something better, something transformed, something aligned. Your intuition becomes sharper. You feel what he feels. You sense his emotions without needing proof. This telepathic awareness is a sign of spiritual expansion. You might even feel waves of calm during moments where you once felt anxious. This is because your soul understands that reunion is no longer something distant but something approaching. You begin noticing synchronicities again. Numbers, repeating symbols, messages in music, dreams that feel more like memories than imagination. These signs intensify when reunion is near. Your heart starts to trust the journey more deeply. You stop questioning whether he still feels you. You know he does. The connection becomes undeniable. You may feel a strong desire to focus on self-improvement, not to impress him, but to elevate yourself. You shed habits that no longer align with your growth. Your soul also becomes more compassionate toward him. You understand his struggles, his fears, his silence. You stop personalizing his distance and begin seeing the spiritual work behind it. Another sign. Everything in your life begins reorganizing itself. People show up. Others fade away. Opportunities unfold. Obstacles dissolve. This shift is a preparation for union. You may also feel less reactive. Instead of being overwhelmed by emotions, you observe them. You move through them with grace. This is emotional ascension. Your sensitivity increases too. You feel energies more clearly. You sense tension before it enters the room. You feel peace before it arrives. Your spiritual antenna becomes stronger. Another sign that reunion is close. You start having deep moments of déjà vu. Places, conversations, or sensations that feel like they already happened in another timeline. Your dreams become prophetic. You see him, feel him, or hear him in a way that feels real. These dreams often signal energetic preparation between both souls. At times, you may feel a rush of courage to finally face your truth, to be honest with yourself, to accept what you feel without shame or fear. Your boundaries become healthier too. You no longer chase. You no longer beg for clarity. You trust the divine timing of the connection because you feel its inevitability. You begin to understand that separation was never truly separation. It was alignment, preparation, purification. This realization brings you peace. You also feel guided, protected even, as if something is walking beside you, showing you your next step without forcing you to rush. Your faith strengthens. Even without physical confirmation, you feel closer to him than ever. Your soul knows what your mind is still learning to believe. Another sign, you forgive more easily. Not because you're weak, but because your heart is expanding. Forgiveness becomes a path to freedom, not a burden. Your desires shift too. You crave depth, honesty, vulnerability. Surface-level connections no longer satisfy you. This is because your soul is preparing for divine love. Your connection to spirit becomes stronger. You sense your guides, your angels, and your higher self more clearly. You feel supported in ways you never noticed before. You begin to feel gratitude for the journey. Yes, even the painful parts. Because you now understand that everything shaped you for union. Your energy stabilizes. Emotional highs and lows become less extreme. Your heart becomes grounded, steady, ready. And finally you feel him. Not in a nostalgic way but in a present, living energy. As if he is reaching toward you, consciously or unconsciously. As if his soul is whispering, "I'm coming home." This is the moment. The moment your awakening becomes your confirmation. The moment you know. The reunion with your twin flame is near. If you've made it this far with me, let me give something back to your heart. A deeper understanding of what you are truly experiencing right now. You are not imagining the signs. You are not exaggerating the shift. You are awakening to the moment your soul has been preparing for. The moment you know the reunion with your twin flame is near. One of the next signs is that your emotional resilience becomes stronger. Challenges may still arise, but they no longer destabilize your spirit the way they once did. You move through emotional storms with a grace that surprises even you. You may also begin noticing that past versions of yourself feel distant, almost like memories from a life you no longer inhabit. This is a sign that your consciousness has expanded beyond old timelines. Another clear indicator is that your standards rise naturally. You no longer entertain energy that drains you. You protect your peace with confidence, without guilt or explanation. Your heart begins to vibrate differently as well. Instead of longing that aches, you feel longing that calls. This is the shift from desperation to recognition. Another sign. Your thoughts become more aligned with possibility than fear. You catch yourself imagining a shared future with him not through longing, but through certainty. You may also begin craving spiritual nourishment, meditation, quiet reflection, inner stillness. Your soul seeks spaces where it can hear divine guidance more clearly. Another sign is your growing ability to separate intuition from anxiety. Where confusion once lived, clarity begins to take root. Your sensitivity to energy deepens too. You may feel warmth in your palms, pressure in your chest, or tingling along your spine. These sensations are your chakras preparing for alignment. Another sign, you feel a shift in the way you remember him. Instead of replaying painful moments, your mind naturally gravitates toward memories of connection, truth, and soul recognition. Your trust in the universe increases. Even when nothing seems to be happening physically, you feel movement spiritually. Another sign is your capacity to regulate your emotions without collapsing into old patterns. You breathe through fear. You soften through confusion. You rise through doubt. You may also begin to experience spontaneous heart openings, moments of unconditional love that come without warning, flooding your body like a warm current. Another sign is the gentle detachment from the need to control the journey. You release the outcome without releasing the connection. Your communication with divine signs becomes more fluid. What once felt like coincidence now feels like conversation between you and the universe. Another sign, you stop assigning blame. You no longer see him as running or avoiding. You recognize his fear with compassion rather than pain. Your inner peace becomes less fragile. Even when uncertainty surrounds you, the center within you remains steady. Another sign is the sudden understanding that reunion is not a reward. It is a destination your souls agreed upon long before this lifetime. You may also start noticing your emotional triggers dissolving. What once felt sharp now feels soft. What once felt chaotic now feels meaningful. Another sign. You feel guided toward choices that support your emotional and spiritual growth. You choose rest over burnout, truth over avoidance, love over fear. You might also feel called to speak your truth more boldly. Your voice gains strength because your heart gains clarity. Another sign, you become more present. You experience life moment by moment, instead of being lost in anxiety about the future. Your expectations shift into intentions. You no longer demand clarity. You cultivate alignment. Another sign is the quiet confidence that settles within you. Not arrogance, certainty. Your soul recognizes what is unfolding. You may also feel increased compassion for yourself. You forgive your own delays, your own wounds, your own fears. Healing becomes a loving act rather than a burden. Another sign, your spiritual senses sharpen. You may hear intuitive messages more clearly, feel emotional shifts more deeply, or sense his energy more strongly. Your connection to love itself expands. You begin to understand that love is not something you chase. It's something you become. Another sign is the growing awareness that every step you've taken was purposeful. Every pause was divine timing. Every delay was protection. And finally, you feel the timeline shifting. You sense the approach. You feel the closeness. Without needing proof, that the reunion with your twin flame is moving toward you, just as you are moving toward it. This is the awakening. This is the moment your soul recognizes the truth. This is when you know the reunion is near. Because you've stayed connected to this message with such openness, I want to honor your heart with even deeper clarity. You deserve to understand what is truly happening within you, and why these shifts are not only real but sacred. Your journey is entering the phase where the reunion with your twin flame becomes unmistakably near, and your soul is preparing you in ways you may only now be recognizing. One sign of this nearness is the way your intuition feels louder, yet softer at the same time. It doesn't overwhelm you. It guides you gently, like a whisper you can suddenly hear clearly. You may notice that your dreams feel more vivid. They are not random. Some are messages. Some are previews. Some are energetic alignments preparing your consciousness for union. Another sign. You feel his emotions without trying. You sense when he is restless, reflective, or awakening to his own truth. That sensitivity is not imagination. It is the merging of energetic fields. Your body may also begin to respond in subtle ways. An aching in the heart, warmth in the chest, or chills across the skin. These are energetic confirmations, not symptoms of confusion. Another sign is that you become more compassionate toward him. Instead of focusing on what he didn't do, you begin seeing him through the lens of his inner wounds, his growth, and his fear. You may also notice you feel guided to release old narratives, stories you once believed were permanent. Suddenly, you are rewriting the way you see love, connection, and purpose. Another sign. Your emotional clarity expands. You no longer feel overwhelmed by conflicting thoughts. You can sense what is fear and what is truth. You begin trusting timing in a way you never have before. Delays no longer frighten you. Silence no longer destroys you. You feel anchored in something bigger. Another sign is your growing ability to detach from the need for constant proof. You feel certainty without evidence. Your heart knows what your eyes cannot yet see. You might feel a surge in personal confidence, not arrogance. You simply begin recognizing your own worth with clarity that cannot be shaken. Another sign. Synchronicities intensify. Numbers repeat. Songs appear at perfect moments. Messages come through in ways that feel impossible to ignore. You may also begin feeling emotionally lighter. The heavy weight you once carried begins dissolving, almost as if it's being lifted off your spirit. Another sign. You feel drawn to elevation, better habits, better boundaries, better choices. Your soul is aligning with the version of you that reunion requires. You might also notice an expansion in your spiritual gifts, intuition, empathy, sensitivity to energy, or even flashes of insight that feel divinely guided. Another sign is that you catch yourself speaking differently. Your words become more intentional, more grounded, more aligned with truth. You may find yourself feeling gratitude for him, even without communication. This shift from longing to appreciation is one of the most powerful markers of nearing union. Another sign. You sense a dissolving of fear around the future. Even when uncertainty surrounds you, your spirit feels safe. You may witness unexpected blessings unfolding, little miracles that reassure you that you are supported spiritually. Another sign. You feel a deeper connection to your purpose. Your soul begins reminding you why you came into this lifetime and how he fits into that mission. You may also feel an urge to simplify your life, releasing clutter, stress, or people who drain your energy. This is preparation for sacred alignment. Another sign. You begin feeling him more as energy than as a person. You feel his presence, not just his memory. You may also experience sudden bursts of motivation to transform your life. Health, mindset, goals, self-love. Another sign is the disappearance of triggers that once overwhelmed you. What once hurt deeply now feels like information, not injury. Your compassion expands, not just for him but for yourself, for your past, for your growth. Another sign. You feel called to balance. You no longer push, rush, or chase. You move with a rhythm that feels divine. You may also notice subtle flashes of inner knowing, moments where truth rises in your chest and you simply know something has shifted in the connection. Another sign. The love you feel no longer feels like longing, feels like becoming, feels like truth. It feels like destiny aligning itself without your intervention. You begin sensing him becoming softer, more open, more reflective, even if he hasn't said a word. This is the energetic bridge building itself. And finally, one of the clearest signs. You feel peace in places that once held anxiety. The moment you feel that peace settle into your heart is the moment your soul recognizes that the reunion with your twin flame is no longer far away. It is approaching with every breath. Because you've stayed so present with this message, your energy allows the next layer of truth to open gently before you. This journey is not random, and the signs unfolding within you are not coincidences. Your soul has been preparing you for the reunion long before your mind understood what was happening. Another sign that the reunion is near is the sudden rise of emotional maturity within you. You're no longer reacting from old wounds. Instead, you're responding from a place of understanding and inner wisdom. This shift is essential for twin flame union. You may notice your patience growing, not because you've given up, but because you've grown into the version of yourself who trusts divine timing rather than fears it. This new softness is a spiritual marker of alignment. Another sign. You begin seeing beauty in the pauses, even the painful ones. Silence doesn't scare you anymore. It feels like a sacred space where transformation happens. You may also feel your heart expanding in ways you can't explain. It's as if your capacity for love is stretching beyond its old limits, preparing you to hold a connection that transcends the physical. Another sign. Past relationships or old patterns suddenly make sense. You can see clearly why they had to happen, how they shaped you, and how they led you to this sacred path. You may notice that you no longer seek external validation. Instead, you're guided by a deep inner knowing that feels unshakable and timeless. Another sign. You feel drawn to solitude, not as loneliness, but as a place where your spirit receives guidance. The quiet becomes a temple where you reconnect with your own essence. You might also experience moments of déjà vu, sensing that you've lived pieces of this journey before. These flashes of familiarity are soul memories resurfacing. Another sign. Your emotional resilience becomes stronger. Situations that once overwhelmed you now feel manageable, even purposeful. You may notice your dreams shifting again, becoming prophetic, symbolic, or strangely comforting. Some may feel like visits, others like confirmations. Another sign. Your intuition becomes more selective. You no longer allow everyone into your energy. You choose peace over people-pleasing. You may also feel an invisible presence guiding you, especially at night or during quiet moments. This guidance is often from your higher self or spiritual support preparing you for union. Another sign. You become more aware of your own energy. You can feel when something is misaligned and when something is sacred. You may also start receiving messages through simple moments. Birdsong, feathers, lights flickering, or words overheard at the perfect moment. Another sign. Your manifestations begin arriving faster. The universe responds to you with more clarity because your vibration is rising. You may feel internal pressure. Not anxiety, but a sense that something big is about to shift. That sensation is energetic acceleration. Another sign. Forgiveness becomes easier. Not because anyone suddenly deserved it, but because your heart is freeing itself from heaviness that no longer serves your path. You might also notice that your soul becomes less reactive to external drama. It's as if your spirit is choosing peace without effort. Another sign. You feel called to move, change, or let go of something. This physical shift mirrors your inner shift. You may also feel a deeper connection to nature. Trees, wind, and sky feel like they speak to you in ways they never did before. Another sign. Your spiritual confidence grows. You no longer question the authenticity of your journey. You embody it. You might begin recognizing that the bond you feel with him is not just emotional but energetic, almost like a frequency you both move within. Another sign. Your compassion deepens for the moments of separation. You begin understanding that the distance was never punishment. It was preparation. You may feel waves of love fill your chest at unexpected times. This is your heart aligning with his field, even if he is far away physically. Another sign. Clarity about your purpose begins to surface. You start remembering who you were before fear silenced you. You might also experience sudden emotional releases, tears, laughter, or stillness. These are energetic cleansings preparing your heart for union. Another sign. You begin sensing movement from him. Not physical movement but emotional, spiritual, and energetic shifts. And within all these signs, one truth becomes undeniable. The reunion with your twin flame is approaching not through longing, but through alignment. Your soul knows the moment is near, and it's preparing you with every breath. Thank you for staying with me until the end of this message. If this touched your heart in any way, please give this video a like so YouTube understands its relevance and continues sending you messages aligned with your awakening. And before you go, confirm that you received this guidance by writing Twin Flames Infinite Love in the comments. Your words open an energetic door that keeps this connection alive. Your presence here means more than you know. When you subscribe and activate the notification bell, you aren't just joining a channel. You're joining a spiritual space where your soul will always be supported. Every time you return, every time you watch, every time you share a video, you strengthen this collective field of healing and reunion. And something beautiful happens. The universe begins answering faster. Take a deep breath with me now. Inhale peace, exhale fear. Inhale alignment. Exhale resistance. Place your hand over your heart and allow this moment to be sacred. I ask that all the light surrounding you right now expands gently into your energy field, guiding you, comforting you, and preparing you for every step that is coming. May clarity find you. May calm embrace you. May your twin flame journey unfold with grace, understanding, and divine timing. As you breathe, feel a soft golden light forming around your chest, the same light that connects you to the higher realms and to your divine counterpart. You are not alone. You are guided. You are held. And you are being led into the next chapter with tenderness and purpose. When you feel ready, return to this channel whenever your heart calls for guidance. Share these messages with someone who might need them. Your simple act of sharing can be the breakthrough someone else has been praying for. And remember, this space was created for you, and every time you return, the energy becomes stronger. Thank you for being here, for trusting this journey, and for allowing these messages to touch your soul. Write Twin Flames Infinite Love below so I know you felt this. And I'll meet you again in the next message your soul is ready to receive.